You can just tell me what you feel. Any participant?
Ma'am, I think in that case, we just need to come out of our comfort zone and push our boundaries.
Yes. So what Russ Harris actually says, the originator of these kind of things, he actually said that comfort zone is actually the discomfort zone that you have. Right. So because you are thinking, I cannot do this, but is it? But what we are trying to teach you is move ahead from it. Look out your values, look out your goal, set the goal again. It's okay. This thing has not been done by this day. Maybe you need 2 more days to set up your first chapter because it's there. You just need to make some additions and subtractions. Right. So next slide, please. So the interconnection here, you have the value is following a routine, and then you have goal is getting good grades. So now getting good grades and following a routine, they are two different things. Many people come to me and saying that they cannot follow a routine because this happened, that happened, and they try and feel very bad about it. Now, the moment they start feeling bad, you cannot move forward. But I always tell them that what have you done in that period when you were assigned a particular task? And they said that maybe I went out with my friends, maybe I was on the mobile, I was chatting, I went out and had dinner. So was it pleasing to you? And they said most of the times they say yes, because maybe we needed to go out. And so then I told them, then where is self compassion? Just love yourself that, okay, I've done this, I'm fine. Now I can get and do my other work which I was assigned to. So that goal setting is also a way of planning yourself, and I will teach you how you can set goals and your values in the next slides that are coming up. So Anjali, the next slide, please. So here you have, now for following a routine, what you need to do, you can make goals on a regular basis. You have to try to see that if your goals are achievable. Now sometimes if there are some PhD scholars, they will tell me that, ma'am, I want to read this paper and make my notes. So suppose they have made a target of reading 5 papers, which is impossible, because when you read a paper, you need a lot of concentration, understanding, and critical analysis of the paper. It is very much difficult to read a paper, 5 papers in a day, and then you are trying to put in your notes in a way that you're going to add it in your literature, review of literature. So does that make sense? So then we have to see my ability of doing the work, not others' ability of doing the work, and how much can I attain in that particular time. I always tell them, if that concept is not clear on the paper, you have YouTube. You just check out the concept on the YouTube and then read the paper. So you are making some headway, and that is not a very difficult task. You have the skeleton structure of what you have studied. So once you read it out, our professors in the UK, when I was studying and we had to submit assignments, so he told me a very good thing, and that was, if I'm given a topic, you just write any crap that you want to write on that topic, anything that will always infuse some kind of thought process in your mind, and you can revisit papers, you can rewrite those sentences in a much better way. And we used to get 1 month for all this editing and all this stuff, and what it came out was a brilliant paper in the end, because all our thoughts on that topic was thrown on the paper without consulting any research. Research was done after my brain was totally stormed and I knew what I'm going to do now. Right? So I had some idea. The topic of the assignment was broken down into pieces, and then we tried to find out what is it that I'm looking forward to in this article. What is it that my professor wants me to do to get an A+ grade? Right? So what are the ways you can adapt to learn? That is very important. Like, some people are good listeners, some people are good writers, some people are good, they can just, they play music and they learn. So what is it that you can do while you're learning? See what works with you and be ready for alternatives. This might not work. Okay, this channel is not good for learning. Why do you have to think I wasted so much of time? You have learned something. One line you picked it up, that could be your one, the go getter of the situation. We are always in a habit of saying, oh, what has happened? I have wasted my time. I couldn't do this. Why? You are able to do something. That is why you are here. The problem is that we never love ourselves. We never care for ourselves. We are not self compassionate. We are only trying to visualize ourselves in the social boxes that have been given to us, and we try to live that. So we are not connected with our values also. What we desire deep down. Okay, next slide, please. So, what can you do to achieve your value? That you follow a routine. So, there are other short term goals, like you have to make the immediate goal. The immediate goal may be that you have been given a topic and you need to write. So, you frame a skeleton. Okay, this is what I need to do maybe for within 1 or 2 days. And 1 or 2 days means maybe I'll get 3 to 4 hours per day to do it. Short term goals. So now if I'm getting 3 to 4 hours in 2 days, I can finish that work maybe in 4 or 5 days. Medium term goals. So 4 or 5 days means I can finish the greater part of the chapter maybe in 2 weeks. And long term goals, maybe by the end of this month I can see this chapter finishing. So it goes like that. Now you will have a lot of obstacles. Sometimes net is not working, you are not well, your teacher is not there, uh, you want to go out with friends, something happened at home, you need to take leave and go back. So have we ever accepted that these are natural things? We are human beings, we can be fallible. That is very important. First, we don't understand that we are fallible individuals. We can make mistakes, we can come across obstacles, and there are solutions to it which we don't even think of. And when you bust the strategy, when you're just coming out with the strategy, do you appreciate that yes, I have grown in my skills, I have grown in my knowledge of dealing with this situation, and I can transfer it to my colleagues, transfer it to my friends, or be much more happier. What we do instead, Arey, I've done this, I've done so much, and this happened and that happened. I'm wasting my valuable time of appreciating myself into depreciating. So my value is to love, to care. So is it not only for others, but it is also for me. If I don't love myself, how can I love others? That is very important. So the obstacle busting strategy has been done in college, and it has seemed to be very coming up with very good results. And the medium term, short term goals have been taken from Russ Harris's worksheet, and this really helps. This really helps everyone. So these are all evidence proven things. Nothing is being told to you that is not there as evidence or research. Okay, next slide. So, like for example, you have a real life situation, right? So you have the pandemic 2020, which was totally unbelievable, unpredictable, and it had a lot of calamities on people who were having the coronavirus. Now, the point was, what was the important value for every the government of every country? The goal was developing vaccines. We did not know what was the first aid at that time. We were still developing. WHO released courses for us to learn, to understand how we can help people. Okay, and then you have taking action. So you have to take an action towards your goal. Your goal was developing vaccines. So we were taking action. We were moving towards it. There were a lot of meetings, and this is how the vaccine started coming up all over the globe. And then you have this, when we finish one episode of coronavirus, we again had the another stage of coronavirus. So again, we had to reset the goals. But the values still remain the same. It was people's health. You had to look after people. The second strain was deadlier because most of the times the elderly were being affected. So you have to take care of them. There were a lot of these pamphlets being floating, how you can keep safe, stay home, and all this stuff. Goals again, you were spreading more awareness, and you had to take action through newspapers, research. So my point in giving you this example is, in real life situation also, we are always taking goals and values as a part of our living. That is very important. If we don't have that, we cannot live. And if we didn't have a goal, if we didn't have value, how could we survive coronavirus? And it's there in every pandemic or epidemic. Every pandemic or epidemic, whether it be rabies, be plague, there is some kind of action is being taken to achieve a goal with particular value intact in it. So because we are dealing with human behaviors. So it's not only in academics, it's everywhere. It's in real life situations. If you apply these things, you will see how fascinating your life can get. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so here, this is a small exercise that I would like you all to do and tell me the answers. So here, someone is talking about you. What would you like them to talk about you? The sort of person you were. So, any answers for that, please? Any answers?
At this juncture, I would request the participants to unmute themselves, and if they have any answers, they can speak up.
It could be right or wrong. You can just need some answer. I just need that you are coming across what values are, because it's a difficult part of humans. And in my experience, people take a lot of time to understand what they are. So the first question. No one. No one would like to answer.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, Anjali, want to say something?
No, I would like to answer this thing, ma'am.
Yes.
So, if someone would ask me to talk about me, like what sort of person I am, so I would like them to tell me, having if they have known me from like say 5 to 6 years, I would like them to know what are the changes they have seen in me in these years.
Okay. So, like if you were, for example, if you're aggressive, you become more calmer, right?
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So for that, even we need to be the change, right? Now, what these therapists talk about is I need to be the change for bringing the change in a society. So I cannot expect my friend to change for me. I need to change my lookout of talking with my friend. Maybe if I'm saying that I told something to my friend did not like, and she left me and went away with other friends. Now, what is my value in that? Does that mean my friend doesn't like me? Does that mean I'm ignored? Can I go and clarify what was it? Can I do that? I think that is the best option. So that gives me the value of being connected, of being accepting that she has gone without me. So I can put on more behaviors in my repertoire to help me to deal with the situation rather than crib. Right? It's Contiu Sarkar or something like that. Yeah, yes, Contour circle. So you're saying the first option. This is not the option. I'm just asking you the question. So it's like, what do you think people would talk about you? What are your strengths and weaknesses? What are your qualities? Because then only can you imbibe those values within you. So anybody who can tell me what are the three strengths or qualities that they have about themselves? Anyone? No one? You don't know your strengths and weaknesses? Or there's a problem in accepting? We can talk about that as well. Okay, so he's answering, that's good. So you want people to remember you like a patient man? Is that what you want? and there's how you would like the way you treated the how would you know the way you treat others. You would of course like. Okay. Okay, that's great. So we all get tense onto your, it's very natural that it's see why I like this therapy very much is that it accepts the human phenomenology so much that during stress I will get stressed. If I tell you you're having exam, oh don't get stressed, don't get stressed. This doesn't happen. Not even with me today. If I'm going to face some examination or I'm going for some interview, I will always be stressed. That's a natural human tendency. But what I can do is I can tell myself that is my anxiety that I'm having productive in this time. It is helping me to learn, it is helping me to gear myself up. But is it helping me to answer the question? That is what I need to ask myself. If an examination, tension is very natural. But if the tension is not letting me function for my own cause, then it is difficult, then I need to take help. But otherwise, these are natural things. If your friend scolded you, you will get angry. You will feel very bored and very bad about it. But the point is, okay, my strength, very good, right? So that like if I'm in an interview and I want the panelists to be treating me like a calm person, but it cannot be because sometimes you'll find some panelists sometimes they are not so friendly. So how you would like to treat them? You cannot go and tell them that why are you doing this to me? You can always be calm and say, okay, this is the way that they are treating us, but is it important for me to take it at this point in time? Because it might not help me with my way of answering the question. So this is what you need to tell your brain at that. So that talks about presence of mind, and that is again mindfulness, which again plays a very important role. Okay. So, are you getting? Are you just getting the notion of what values are actually? Yes or no? Okay. So, next slide, please. Okay. So here I have another situation for you. You are dealing with a problem. 1 year. Okay. Thank you. So 1 year from now, you think that you have solved it in the best possible way. Do you think you behaved in a manner you would love in the deepest of your desires? Did you stand for love, courage, persistence, sincerity? So, how did you treat yourself as you dealt with this? So, any situation you can think of, and you can answer this question 1 year from now, do you think you could have done better, or did you deal with it keeping in mind your deepest values? Like, I will be accepting, or I will be loving, or I will be caring. Did you keep that in hand? If not, what are the changes you would like to make in yourself that, yes, I need to make a change? Like, for example, you're angry with your friend and you think, no, I could have dealt with that situation in a better manner. So, what are the things I need to add to my behavioral repertoire that can help me to deal with these situations? So, can you tell me anyone a situation like that? Now, since you're doing this, you can just tell me any life example, anything, nothing. So, you don't feel connected with yourself at all when you're dealing with situations, and don't you regret later? Okay, so can you, is there any place for improvement? Do you think you could have dealt it better? You're going to treat others in the same way that you think they will treat you, because the way you've adopted may not be liked by the other individual at times. Yeah, but what about the person who is there in front of you? Suppose there is an incident, or there's something that has happened with your friend, and you had an argument with your friend, and now 1 year from now you're just saying, no, I could have dealt with it in a better manner. What I'm trying to say is that you think you have dealt with the situation in a very the best of your ability, but maybe the other individual doesn't think so. So how would you have liked that you would have been treated if you were in the same situation? Okay, so why do you say expectation hurts? Can you just answer in a mic, Kumarjeet? Is it? Can you just switch on your mic and talk?
Yeah,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes.
I think like we should not have any expectation from other person. Just we need to do whatever possible from our side.
Yeah, but what would you do? Like if your friend is hurting you, what do you think you can do?
I let him.
You let him hurt yourself.
No, I will let him. Like I will not keep him in my life.
Okay. So would you think that if you were in the same situation and your friend just let you go out of your life, would that be very loving for you? Would that be acceptable for you?
Well, depending upon the situations, actually, it's like if he's harming me, then why should I keep him in my life?
Okay. Okay. So, okay, just let me tell you one thing. If he is harming you, why should you keep you in your life? That's a very, very blatant thought. But the point is that we all are living in a community where we are all going to live by each other. And what I can suggest you is a better way. Now, suppose your friend is A and you're thinking that A is hurting you. You know that this, if I'm going to talk about something to my friend on some topic which is not acceptable to him, then he will tell you something. You can be guarded. You can tell your brain that this person is going to irritate me, and I have to be, in my best possible way, I have to behave in a manner so that I don't regret later. Because regret is something we all face at one point in time when we behave badly, and that cripples you down. So if I tell you that my value is that I'm not going to let myself get hurt in the process, for that, I am not going to uh, allow that person to hurt me to such an extent that I'm going to hurt the other person in return. For that, I need to be guarded. I need to put my defenses up very well and just do as little as possible, but not to throw that person out. Maybe because it's your choice, but maybe because I may need that person some point in my life. He might not be as good today because of some situations, but later on, there could be situations where if I was in a situation, maybe I would have reacted in the same way. So, when we are dealing with individuals, we are not thinking all this, and the impulsive acts always make us regret, and we fall in the trap. And for that, we are always away from your values. When I do this exercise on values with my students, I see most of them are away in their values with leisure activities, which they love doing, they don't do, and even relationships. So it is very important that we try to connect with ourselves first. It's understanding our brain first. It's brain always, as it is always, is easy to get away, but is getting away the only solution to all the problems, right? Is it clear? Am I being able to make things clear to you people? Hello?
Hello.
Yes, I think
Yes.
Kumarjit, will you on your mic and just say hello?
Yes, ma'am. Like I want to say like that. If we expect something from our friend, is it a good friendship? Like means like it will be like that. Means like only the we means like means I just want to say like is it a good option to expect something from someone at any time of point?
See, expectations again. I told you are human tendencies. We cannot live without them. If I'm sending my child to crack IIT JEE, I would expect that the child would do good, right? So expectations are a part of human living. But my point is, I need to be so much guarded with my thought process and with my values that I have to tell myself these are my expectations. These may not be the expectation, or the person cannot act in alignment with my expectations because he doesn't know what I want. My values are different, his values are different, his goals are different, my goals are different, right? So how did you treat others that you care about is a very important point in life, because then you can just do this and just feel the greatness of it. I'm not saying if the person is behaving badly with you, you stick with him, but I'm just telling you that if the person is behaving badly with you, that's the boundary, or that's an intimation to you that you need to put up your guards and develop your skills as well of dealing with these individuals, and that gives you a power of for yourself, because you don't want to be treated like that. So if you don't want to be treated like that, you would not like others to to get treated like that by you. So I think that's the beauty of understanding value. Am I clear, Kumarji?
Yeah.
Difficult area. Anything else? Okay, so the next slide. So this is the last slide. Values helps you to connect with your goals better. I think I made this thing very clear in the presentation. And as John C. Maxwell says, when values, thoughts, feelings, and actions are in alignment, a person becomes focused and character is strengthened. And I think I've been talking about this throughout this presentation. So, next slide. I think that's the end. If anybody would like to say something, ask something, please feel free to ask or say, or just to give your opinion. You agree, disagree, we can all have a discussion. I think that's all, Anjali, from my side. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. I request the participants if they have any questions, they can just unmute themselves and ask ma'am your questions. However, I do have a question, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, Anjali. This is me, Kontev.
Yeah.
Can I ask one thing? I
Yeah.
changed my mic.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure, Conte.
Hi, good evening, ma'am. Thank you so much for this wonderful talking
Yeah.
session. Okay,
Good
so
evening.
I like no, I do not have anything with respect to what you like yourselves presented today. It's a sort of general doubt or sort of question I have. So, for example, I am interacting with a person. Okay, now how this person is like, what all goes on inside the minds of that person, there is no way for me to understand, right? So all we do is that we guess that perhaps he or she is thinking this or that and all. So, like, is there like any way or is there any way by which we can make this guess more accurate or more predictable? Like, I don't mean to interfere into the privacy of the person, but sometimes we need some subtle answers which he or she might not be giving, but we need to guess based on what answers he or she is indeed giving. Is there any way in which we can make this guess more predictable?
See, first of all, as I told you, when I'm talking to an individual, I have certain expectations. Like, for example, I'm talking to, maybe if I'm talking to my teacher, okay, suppose you people are talking to your teacher and you want that sir should say this, and he will correct it and things will be done. But the point is that if suppose sir tells me that you have not done this properly. You need to redo this. You need to check this out. So, my point here is, how am I going to take that word? Because there have been, there are cases where people think that why is it not acceptable? So, the question of why, if I tell you that is a question of why, is always, you can just look within you and ask yourself, how much effort have I put in this thing to present it before my teacher? Now, sometimes I've seen students where, some people are just making those things just before the thing needs to be submitted. You're not getting proper time to do the critical analysis of the literature review and paraphrase things and put it in paper and give it. Right? Now, when the person is telling you, can I be accepting enough of my faults that yes, I should have put in more effort into doing this? And if the person is telling me this, it is something better for me, I can learn more skills. Right? So you're saying, like, if suppose now this is not in alignment with my thought because I thought I'll submit it, or maybe I don't know how to write it, right? So in that case, what is it that I really want deep inside me? I want my paper to get accepted. I want my good publications. But for that, have I made my goals and values in alignment with each other? Have I accepted the feelings I get if I'm rejected? Have I understood that okay, I'm not as good as my other colleagues and I need to work hard? It is difficult for me to accept, but have I done that? I will give you a very good example. We were in the UK, and this professor used to teach us, I think, I forgot, but she used to teach us some paper of behavior analysis. And she told us, and she was the head of the department of the ABA. So she told us that, I want to discuss something with you people. And then we asked, what is it that you want to discuss? And she said, after the class. And we said, okay. And then she said, my paper got rejected. So I want views from you people as to how I can improve on the areas that they have marked, as I'm not getting any idea. That showed me the power of acceptance, even at a position of the HOD, where she was taking our class and she told us that, this is something I need your inputs. As students, what do you think? As new minds, what do you think? And that whatever she was teaching was so transparent because it was there in her. So, my expectation of, because I have achieved this level and I've done this and my paper will not get rejected ever, is something which is not stagnant. There are a lot of stimuli. It could, and why don't I take it? Yes, I need to learn more. I need to grasp more. I'm not, because learning, as you've written, I think in your message, it has no end. Right? So, does that answer your question?
Yeah, ma'am. Partly, like, no, it answers. Like, yeah, I'll be.
No, you tell me, no problem. If you think that, there is nothing in psychology where I can tell you we don't read people's minds. But yes, I can understand, I can put up guards and telling you, okay, this person is not liking my work or this person not liking me. So either I should add in my behavioral repertoire of acceptance that, okay, I'm not liked by everybody. So maybe I will try and do things in my own way, clearing my mind that things are not acceptable to everybody, and I will not get disheartened by that. Because we usually get disheartened because we assume that our closer ones will accept whatever we do. But that is not human behavior. Human behavior is very unpredictable. Okay? Ponteo, is it fine?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Any other question?
I have a question, ma'am.
Yes.
Again, this is a very generic question. Like in the slides, you have mentioned that if we want to achieve some goals, we need to, as a value, we can add a routine to these things. But on a personal level, if I speak, I do make routines. I do follow it some days, but then after following it for a certain amount of days, again I get disconnected to it. So how do we like bound ourselves to follow a routine?
Right. Now, Anjali, your word usage of word only shows that you are beating up yourself too much. Right? You are not loving yourself for the things that you're doing. Right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm just understanding your language. So you cannot be bound to follow a routine. You need to love to follow a routine. Okay.
Okay,
And that
okay,
comes with lot of values. Like if I need to do certain, like for example, if I need to go to the gym, going to the gym is my goal of every day, but my value is that I need to keep my body in a proper weight. So for that I need to do certain things someday to manage my time or manage my clients, and I am happy with routine shifting or managing my routine lovingly. I will not crib कि आज ये नहीं किया, कल वो नहीं करेंगे, आज ऐसा हो गया, कल वैसा हो गया. जो होना है वो तो होगा ही, आज या कल. And I need to be accepting that this is a environment, and in environment anything can change at any point in time. If I make my, the greatest goal of the acceptance commitment therapy is in increasing your psychological flexibility. So when your psychological flexibility is increased, you feel so good because you are then patting yourself for whatever things you're doing. Maybe you're, and then if you're not loving that, okay, so I have done this much today, I need to pat myself, I need to reward myself with something. Have you rewarded yourself with saying, okay Anjali, you've done this, so treat yourself with this, rather we say अरे ये तो कर लिया, ये नहीं किया, then the mind already gets saturated and you don't feel like doing things. So you need to be very flexible, and like I told you, those immediate, medium, short and long term goals, that really helps, because you have something and you can write down as to why you're not doing this. Is it functional, is it helping you, right? So then if you do that, it is very helpful for you to get closer to your values, because we don't make a, this goal setting plans with values. We just make, as a parrot, we just make goals. We don't make the value. Like if you say I'm going to get good grades, right? What is the value? What is the value for that? That you need to work hard, you need to enjoy yourself also, you need some leisure time activities also. Then only can you enjoy that goal. Because every day, like for example, every day if I'm bombarded with cases, will I enjoy my work? I need some activity, some breaking point. Is it clear, Anjali?
yes, ma'am.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, Aparesh. Aparesh, you want to say something? Hello. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody else would like to say something? Okay. So I think, can we close then?
Just a moment, ma'am. So before we close the meeting, I'll just like to share my screen once. So this is a small token of gratitude from our side, ma'am, from IEEE CSSBC. Thank you
Thank
for giving us insights on these things. It was very helpful for us, and we can only try to love ourselves more every day. Thank you so much, ma'am.
thank you.
Also, before we close the meet, I would request all the participants who are available here, can they just turn on their cameras so that we can have a group picture? Anupam, if you can take a group picture.
So I'll just put down. Do I put down my headphones?
It's as you like, ma'am.
Okay.
Anupam, just let me know once you are done.
Yeah, you guys done. Anybody more want to switch on their camera? Uh, okay, yeah, it's done. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Anupam. Thank you so much, Fab.
Okay, thank you. And I just want to ask you about the URL. You'll send me the URL?
Yeah, ma'am, I'll mail you that.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you all for your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.